This is Chapter 13, Part 2. Chapter 13, Plain View Consent, Vehicle and Administrative Searches. Chapter 13, Part 2. Where do we leave off at? Slide 17, Vehicle Searches. There's all kinds of rules for this. Incident to an arrest. If an arrest is made of any occupant, driver or passenger, the police officer can search the whole car. The passenger compartment and any items inside are subject to search. Searches of cars with probable cause. The scope of the search is tied to the nature of the probable cause. The search can include weapons for police safety. There's no time limit. It's very extensive and complete. The bottom of page 394 is the breakdown. When an occupant of a car is arrested, the officer may conduct a thorough search of the passenger compartment if there's reason to believe that the person has access to the vehicle at the time of the search, or there is evidence in the vehicle that is relevant to the crime for which the person was arrested. Top of page 395, if you read that paragraph, actually let's look at it. The passenger compartment is easily identified in a traditional sedan. It includes the area around the front and back seats, the glove compartment, console. It does not extend to the trunk, or to the area under the hood, or to the parts of the car. A van, sport utility vehicles, and other models that don't have a physical barrier separating the driver from the storage space requires a factual determination of what is the equivalent of the passenger compartment. When a search of the passenger compartment is allowed, everything may be searched, such as briefcases, glove compartment. Since both weapons and other evidence may be seized, areas that are too small to hide a gun or knife may also be searched. So that's, I think, important to define. Let's look at page 396. The right to search a vehicle based on probable cause defined. Officers may conduct a search of a vehicle without a warrant if there is probable cause to believe that the vehicle contains something of evidentiary value that can be legally be seized. The search is restricted to areas where there is probable cause to believe the items are located. It may be done at the scene or later at a more convenient location. And you should read examples. On the bottom of page 397, there's examples of vehicle searches done on probable cause. And on the top of page 398, examples that would not qualify as probable cause vehicle searches. Read those yourself. Slide 18. Vehicle searches inventory. A vehicle may be impounded when the driver is arrested. Police may search impounded vehicles, generally to make an inventory for protection of the police and suspect's property. There must have a legitimate reason to impound and search. It's generally less invasive than searches for evidence of crime. Slide 19. Vehicle searches based on reasonable suspicion. An officer may search the entire passenger compartment for weapons. It can be based on a traffic stop for a minor offense. Slide 20, Michigan versus Long. Long ran his car off the road. Police arrived and found him acting erratically. They searched him and inside of the car and found marijuana. Then they conducted a protective search of the trunk and found 75 pounds of marijuana. 2 prerequisites for reasonable suspicion search. 1, articulable facts leading the officer to believe that the party engaged in a crime. 2, reasonable suspicion that there may be a firearm. And you should read the bottom of page 401. Actually, I'll read it to you. Right to search the outside of a vehicle. Officers may inspect the outside of a vehicle that is parked in a public place. Trained dogs may sniff the exterior of a vehicle that are parked in public places or have been legally stopped by officers. And also, on your own, you could read the vehicle search outside of a vehicle even more, just above that whole paragraph. Slide 22, vehicle searches, non-criminal investigations. Few cases on point concerning these searches. And there's a citation. Basically, police investigation is not related to a crime or the search for a criminal evidence, such as finding an abandoned car. And the bottom of page 402 discusses that more, that you can read. Slide 23, roadblocks are often used for DUI checkpoints, sobriety checkpoints, not permissible simply to check for outstanding warrants on drivers. Can be used to question the public about a recent crime, and no random stops if no suspicion of legal activities. Michigan versus the Department of State Police versus SITS. Michigan, slide 24, used random sobriety checkpoints to search for intoxicated drivers. Such stops were upheld as constitutional because they advanced a substantial government interest. And that basically just was the case that allowed for sobriety checkpoints. Slide 26, administrative searches, very different. Basically covers certain regulated industries. There needs a statement of legislative purpose for such warrants. 3 basic requirements for administrative searches. It's a regulatory scheme supported by a government interest. Warrantless inspections are necessary to further that scheme. Scheme sounds weird, but it's a requirement. Statute limits the official discretion and advises owners of the limits. Slide 27, Camera versus the municipal court. San Francisco housing inspector sought to enter Mr. Camera's residence. The inspector did not have a warrant, but claimed the right of entry under the old Frank case. The Supreme Court held that the administrative searches without a warrant violate the Fourth Amendment. However, if it is a health and safety violation, no probable cause is necessary for an administrative warrant. And finally, slide 29, examples. ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement, they do not need a warrant to check for illegal aliens at a workplace. Businesses that are regulated, health departments for restaurants. Nuclear Regulatory Agency for reactors. OSHA, Occupational Safety Health Administration. Fire inspectors, building inspectors. Those type of government statutes would allow someone to come in under and do an administrative search. And that's the end of Chapter 13 lecture.